Peacemaker is escaping Earth X, the craziest place we've ever seen, but once was his favorite dream place. What happens? Let's talk about it after this.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Collard Greens and Nerdy Things, your favorite nerd podcast. I'm your host, King, and this is my partner in crime, JC3. And we are back with another episode of Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7. Don't forget that this is a spoiler review. We're going to talk about a lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, then you might want to turn back now. And don't forget that parental advisory is advised. We're going to be using coarse languages and talking about things that happen in this episode that is not for children. And if you like what we do here on the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, give us a follow, share to your friends, and keep up with our journey. To kick it off, let's do our first thoughts on episode 7. Jay, kick us off, buddy.
Man, first thoughts on this episode, man. This episode, another great entry by James Gunn. Who would have thought that last season Peacemaker would be running from the Ku Klux Klan, and now in this season, Ads is running from the Nazis. I feel like James Gunn is just trying to say something. He's trying to say something to the general public, and I think we need to listen because this episode is firing on all cylinders, man. We get some good team ups between Chris and Amelia trying to break him out of the Nazi world after he finally realizes that that's what he's a part of. We have a really good chase sequence and action sequence between with Judo Master saving Ads from the mob that's running after her. I thought that was great. We get a little bit more development with Rick Flag, special cameo in this as well. And we also get a very shocking surprise from one of the alternate people in this worst dimension ever now, and a very, at least to me, surprising performance from John Cena at the very end of this episode. This episode was hard hitting, it was emotional, but it was also hilarious, and I think that that's a testament to James Gunn, just because the subject matter that's being showed here you would think would be taken way more seriously, but he is able to put his own spin on it and make it funny. Honestly, I thought this episode was hilarious, and I'm always satisfied with James Gunn, man, and this is just another reason to be. What did you think?
I got to agree with you. I thought this was another great entry. A little bit slower of an episode. We're kind of concluding what's happening in Earth X. But what I would say to the audience is this is one of those moments in a show where you're not sure if they're going to really have enough time to conclude a side mission and then get back to whatever the larger arcing story is. And this show does it in a good way. Like you mentioned, it is a funny, heartfelt episode. You really had John Cena's acting on display. We've all, here on the channel, we cover WWE. And of course, me and Jay are no slouches to John Cena's work, but his acting in this performance is crazy. I mean, the emotional depth that they give his character and that he's able to portray is amazing. And I have to agree with you on the subject matter. It seems that James Gunn is trying to say something, whether that's put a mirror up to our reality and what we live in, or make mention of the kind of underlining worst things we have in our world. James Gunn is doing a good job of putting those things on display, but not making them too heavy without adding in some comedy and adding in some fun adventure to it. So I think this is a great episode. It definitely arcs things up. We have one more episode left. So I'm excited to see where we go from now and how they're going to conclude the bigger overarching story now that we have now left Earth X. So tell me, what were one of your favorite references from this episode?
Favorite reference from this episode. Man, we can always start at the beginning. Honestly, one of my favorites is just when Amelia is pointing out to Peacemaker all the reasons for why this is the worst dimension ever and why it's a world full of Nazis. I think the one that hit me the most is when there's literally a mural of Hitler, and he's just like, like, oh, how did I not see that? Like, what? Like, they're just, again, making a serious situation so funny. And I also loved that in their fight sequence, when Amelia was trying to break Chris out of that at a police station. I really appreciated her hitting one of those guys with the Mein Kemp little journal, little book, just directly in the head. I'm like, yeah, I love this show. This is awesome. Uh, Other than that, I would say one more reference for me would just be that cameo we got, man. We got a little. It's not as big as last episodes, but we did get a cameo from character's name Sidney Happerson. He came from the Superman movie and is Lex's assistant. And Rick Flag Sr. has to go down and try to get him to locate this dimensional portal that they've been looking for this whole season. Again, not as big of a cameo as last episodes, but still pretty effective because we're closing the gap. You know what I mean? We're still referencing the movie that started this whole new universe in a way. So very excited about what we got there. About you?
One of my favorite references was definitely Lex Luthor's assistant or his point man in the movie Superman. He really had a lot of the comedic roles and a lot of the funniest lines. So it was good to kind of see him branched over. And it definitely gave us a little more information of what Lex or what Rick Flag Sr. was trying to accomplish. And he really needed a device that would easily locate any pocket dimensions or anything like that. So it was fun to kind of see that reference. I have to agree that one of the things that stood out for me as one of the more fun reveals was the obviously the mirror on the wall. It's played for laughs, right? Like where she's like, "You didn't see that, the big mirror," and then she mentions the Mein Kampfs on everybody's desk. It was hilarious. It was a good reference and a good way to kind of it's serious topic, but a good way to kind of make it funny. And watching them kind of escape as they after she threw the book and they got on the motorcycle, there was a moment where you saw hardcore kind of drop her walls and really lean in to Chris, hug him, embrace him, Chris grabbing her hand. It was really a moment for Chris's character to realize that he was where he needed to be. That is the hardcore that he wanted and not this Earth X version. So those are my two probably favorite reveals or references that we had throughout or that episode. So let me ask, what was your favorite moments? There was a lot of moments in this that were really exciting and fun or funny or even emotional. What was your favorite?
I'll give you two. Number one, the first one I'll give you is when Judo Master electrocutes all the Nazis in the pool. I absolutely love that. Awesome, amazing. Only James Gunn can do this, man. That moment was pretty cool. And I also love the dynamic between Judo Master and Ads. Just you can just with their scenes together, you can tell that she really is Chris's best friend, even defending him to Judo Master while they're playing Scrabble. And apparently she's horrible at it, and Judo Master's amazing. I would say one more moment for me would definitely be the end of the episode. Again, we've said we are John Cena fans. We covered WWE, never seen 17. Tracked his acting since he started in the Marine up to now. And I can definitely say at the end of this episode, where Chris is watching his friends trying to save him from his alternate brother, from trying to kill him, and as he's looking at his friends kill his brother again, his alternate brother, he's reminded of everybody that he's killed, everybody that's been lost ever since this season started, really. And he just shouts, "Stop!" And it's just a moment. The look on his face, it's just a moment of it just drops your heart because again, this is a guy that can make you laugh, but he really does feel something inside, and you saw that at the end of this episode. And it's the realization that he has that he's the issue. He feels now that he's the problem, and that's why all this is happening. And I just feel like that's a big jump, big character arc for this for him, just because from where he started to where he is now, it's been leaps and bounds, man. John Cena is amazing. But those are my two favorite moments. What do you think?
I want to echo one of them, and that was Judo Master and Adebayo sitting down. My favorite thing was them realizing that they had more in common than not, and kind of setting up that later on, Judo Master is probably going to be one of the 11th Street kids later on. They have more in common. They're closer than they're not. He is, of course, paid in the opposition working with Argus, but he's a lot like Peacemaker in so many ways. And Adebayo did a good job of explaining that and letting her guard down and letting his guard down. It was a really good moment where the pace of the show slowed down for a minute just to build these relationships and give you more world building with these two people and more character building, giving Judo Master more to say. And he talked about living in that world and that he's not allowed to be gay, he's not allowed to be Asian, he's not allowed to be so many things that he already is, that Earth X would have never worked out for him either. So great conversation, great emotional depth in that moment. My second one is right before the moment you had just mentioned. And I really think having Augie talk about who he is in this universe. So, as we know, Peacemaker's father in the regular universe was a white supremacist leader and was a all around terrible dude. And unfortunately, Peacemaker had to unalive his own father. But in this world, he's quite the opposite. He believes in the greater good. He was trying to raise his children not to be, the fascist Nazis that they live around. He was trying to make it in a world where he was essentially the odd man out. And in that moment, it reveals kind of to us that Peacemaker in Earth X was kind of a terrible dude. Even his dad said, "Well, you know how your brother is." He was a terrible dude, and he probably empathized way more with the Nazi leaders than he would with people of color. And that wasn't who his dad was. And it seems in that moment that his brother is really back and forth. It seems that the dad did not raise him to be that way, but his brother is clearly more okay with the racist, fascist living that that world brings. Case in point, he did chase Adebayo down the street, so we know that he kind of is. But it was a stark reminder that the father was a different person in this world than he is in the other. And right after that, unfortunately, Judo Master kills him. It's a crazy reveal. It's a crazy moment. Judo Master thought that he was saving Peacemaker, but he killed the dad. And it was such an emotional moment. Wanted to just splice this in there. When I was talking about Peacemaker's father dying, I accidentally said that Judo Master killed him, and it was Vigilante, y'all. My bad, bro. So we're gonna add this in there. Okay. Bye. Those are probably my favorites. What are your final thoughts on episode 7?
Final thoughts on episode 7, man. Again, we're kicking this season into high gear now. This episode really ramped things up. I was really impressed with this episode. I'm just wondering how we're going to wrap things up, with the finale coming up soon, just because we've set so much up at this point. And now I'm just wondering where it all leads. We have the romance between Amelia and Peacemaker, wondering where that's going to go. Uh, we know that Peacemaker is going to go one on one with his the alternate brother Keith, since they left him alive by the end of this episode. Wondering how that's going to turn out, how that fight will be. Still trying to figure out Rick Flag Sr.'s plan, what's going on there. Also, man, who just saying, who knows if even Judo Master and Vigilante are going to get along right now, because it looks like they almost squared up for a minute, and it was pretty funny. So, if anything, man, this episode just leaves me wondering. This show's been so great. How do we cap it off and do something even more insane, which James Gunn has promised that he will do, and I trust and believe in James Gunn. So those are my final thoughts, man. What about you?
Same. I think it's been a great ride so far. It's been fun. I'm really curious, like you said, how are we going to cap off this story, right? It's been a wild ride already since episode 1. So how do you even go bigger for episode 8? One more episode to finally tell this story and to lead us in to Superman Man of Tomorrow. So we know that that's one thing James Gunn is doing, is leading us into where Lex Luthor and Superman will be at the end of this Peacemaker season. Where will Peacemaker emotionally been? Like you mentioned, he's realizing he's the problem and he sort of wants to give up. So where will he kind of land at the end of this, and where will his friends land? I'm sure we're going to get more of Peacemaker, but who knows how we end this story. I'm just happy we had a great ride. James Gunn is the best person to be the helm of DC and to tell these type of stories. He's done so well so far. So I'm just excited to see what's next. Um, and I'm ready for the ride. So why don't you take us on out, Jay?
Man, guys, it's been quite a ride so far. I just can't wait to see how we end things. Man, that visual of Vigilante shanking Augie to death in the neck, again, something that you think would be serious, but it's played for laughs. Shocking, but hilarious. RIP to alternate Augie, and thank you to all you guys for all the love and support. And as always, follow, like, share, subscribe, comment, talk to your boys. Let us know what's up. Let us know if you think that Judo Master and Vigilante are going to have it out, because honestly, I want them to. And till then, stay nerdy, my friends.